Hi and welcome to Pete's Perspectives. Today I'm going to touch on quantitative easing and negative interest rates. Both pretty strange concepts really, so hopefully this can shed some light on that. So what's happening in New Zealand? Well, basically our response to COVID-19 is seeing a package of around $60 billion. So 20 billion of that is yet to be allocated, so we can be thankful that we've got some great brains. Jacinda's got a Great Brains Trust working on that. That's, Kelvin Davis, Phil Twyford, David Clark and Grant Robertson, etc. So I'm sure that's going to all end pretty well. The reality is no one really knows around the corner, so we probably shouldn't have politicians or the bureaucrats who are supporting them allocating $60 billion worth of our money. I think it's important to remember that it is actually our money. So what does 60 billion mean? Basically the numbers, I think, plus the debt that is growing in the New Zealand economy, government debt, will mean that per household we're now going to have around $80,000 worth of debt per household. So that affects you, that affects your kids, but probably more importantly and realistically it affects your grandkids. So how do you pay back $60 billion or the total debt rising to given the deficits, etc., rising out to $200 billion, well, you basically have to increase taxes or you spend less on those core services like health and education. So neither of those are great scenarios. In the short term, however, we've got this bizarre situation where the Reserve Bank is doing quantitative easing. So they're effectively buying bonds and trying to keep the interest rates very low. So effectively what you've got is the government with the left hand is borrowing $60 billion, and with the right hand they're saying, hey Adrian, can you just go and buy $60 billion worth of government bonds, because no other clown's going to touch them and rates would go a lot higher if you didn't do that. So I just think that's almost certainly going to end in tears. It's a recipe for disaster. We're building up a massive balance sheet with the Reserve Bank so that we can artificially keep rates low. But they have a plan B. The plan B is not great either. So the Reserve Bank are talking about negative interest rates. The concept itself is just kind of bizarre. It's a last-ditch attempt to try and get mortgage rates even lower. So wholesale money would actually be penalised. Rather than receiving a return on that money, they would actually return less money back when the negative interest rate is taken off. So it's really trying to throw a last-ditch effort to get every money circulating into the economy. So yeah, not great scenarios. Shows how desperate we are here in New Zealand. I hope that was helpful as to what quantitative easing is. Basically the left hand borrowing and the right hand investing, but it is the same entity. And negative interest rates as well. So as I say, both of these are quite concerning. Okay, thanks.